Dude, this thing is so dusty. PlayStation VR2, it's so dusty. I just took it off my shelf. Oh my gosh, I haven't used this thing in like 2 years. Oh man, the cords are tangled, and I paid $550 for this plus tax back when it launched. I got this on launch day. I was in the middle of I had a VR channel, and I love PlayStation. I love console gaming, and just this thing looked awesome. And it is an awesome headset. It really is. Compared to the Meta Quest, this has features like eye tracking and haptics, and it's just an awesome headset. Besides the earplugs, I cannot stand the earplugs when it comes to this thing. And so like then I have to use an over the head headset, and that just makes the whole thing heavier. Even though it actually feels a lot lighter than the Meta Quest 2. But yeah, it's all around an awesome headset, minus the cord. The cord is actually almost a deal breaker for a lot of people, and even me. It just this cord adds so much friction to the VR setup experience. But $550, and at the, I mean, I've been burned. I haven't really like regretted it, but like objectively, I've been burnt. I don't lose sleep over it. The controller also though. Let's talk. The controllers I think are really cool too. Kind of hard to pick up at first when you have the headset on because like the weight is weird. But once you have them in your hands, I think these are incredible VR controllers. I like them better than the Meta Quest ones. But again, I haven't. I got it right before I had kids. Like what a big mistake in retrospect. I thought I was gonna try to be able to keep like my VR channel going and all that, and I could have like if I wanted to, but it just wasn't worth the effort. I wanted to live in the moment and just not like I had to work, take care of kids, and it's really hard to just strap yourself in a VR headset and just like forget about everything when you can't forget about everything in that situation. And I was like, okay, well, you know what? Like, I have the PSVR2 headset. There's some great games already. The Horizon Call the Mountain. I played that. I played through that and beat that when it came out. And I loved it. I'm a big fan of the Horizon series. Not as big as like Sony like has made it out to be. I didn't like Forbidden West as well. Zero Dawn I loved, and I thought Call the Mountain. I thought it was a great game. Like, yeah, it was like a climbing simulator. And if you have been deep into VR, there's been a lot of climbing simulator games, but it was tied to the Horizon IP, which again I am a fan of that, and just it really put a vision in my head of like if every Sony IP can have a VR game alongside like their other games, and have your mainline game, have a remaster, have like a smaller one like Miles Morales. I think Uncharted did a very similar thing too, and then you can have your VR game, and you can really see how like over the course of a generation, if they hit all these games for each their IP, that would really fill out a library for the PlayStation 5 and be awesome for that generation of gaming. And like I haven't touched the thing in 2 years, and my backlog is like still the same, and it's really just Resident Evil 4 VR mode and Resident Evil 8 VR mode. They're not even dedicated VR games; they're just modes. Uh, but they look great. They look great. Because I played uh, Horizon Call the Mountain and beat that game. I almost got the platinum trophy. I just kind of stopped. Like just I didn't go back and get all the collectibles, but it'd be pretty easy for me to go back and get that platinum. And I played some Gran Turismo 7, which is an awesome game. But I was playing with the controller, and every time I played it, I was just like, mm, I really want to wheel and pedals. Like that would make this experience better. Like I'm missing out every minute I'm playing of this. It's very immersive, but it's like it's so immersive that the controller is making it worse. And I know Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming out, and I think that's going to be a very similar situation with a flight stick. I think a flight stick would be easier for me to pick up and either play like at the computer desk, which I think I probably do already. I'd have to look into that when if it comes time to if I decide I want to play some VR and like that's a choice. But yeah, so for $550, already having a Meta Quest 2 headset, which could play basically all the other games, as Sony just took this headset, gave it a pack and title such as Horizon Call the Mountain and everything else, and then they added support for Gran Turismo 7, which like that isn't even a ground up VR game. So they did like two VR things, and then they're just like third parties take it away, and Capcom, they're the goats. They support like the PlayStation VR. They support Amiibo on Nintendo's side. Like Capcom's awesome, but yeah, everything else, it's like, oh, Walkabout Mini Golf is coming to PlayStation VR 2. It's like cool. As someone who was like in VR for like a while prior, we've already played that game. That's an old game. But if you're a console gamer and you haven't been into the VR world and you're thinking about PlayStation VR 2 is your first headset, it's an awesome headset. Like it's great. I don't think the cord is that bad. One of the tricks I do is like don't face the TV, like actually like turn your chair and face away from the TV so the cord is going back towards the console. I shouldn't say the TV, whatever's pointing back towards the console. So the cord's behind you and you turn, like when you have it in front of you. That was a mistake I was making for a while, is having the cord go in front of me, and then it's just like you can always feel it, and it interrupts the immersion. So besides the cord, and like I like to put my stuff away every time I finish playing it, so I'm always having to like unplug and rewind the cord every time, and that could be a personal thing. But I guess if you're playing VR every day and all the time, you just leave the headset out and plugged in. That can reduce the friction, because a big thing with VR is the friction. Like I can't take a sip of water. I can't take a sip of water while I'm playing a VR, so it's just like another thing that I don't want to play Resident Evil 4 right now when some of my only gaming time is like Saturday morning, and I like to drink coffee while I play a game. Like I can't take a sip with a VR headset on, and that's annoying. But yeah, this thing for $550, I feel a little burnt. 2 years later, I should have more of a backlog, more games that I want to play, and there's been nothing. Nothing new has been coming out on this thing, especially exclusive. Like I bought this thing for Sony exclusives. This is a Sony product that when they launched this for $550, more than the PlayStation console itself. To me, I bought it with like a bit of trust in Sony. I was like, okay, you're launching this for more than the console, $550. This is some serious tech. It's good tech too. Using it, it's an awesome experience. But I thought there was a little bit of trust there. That's like, hey, you're gonna support this a little bit, right? Like you're asking a lot from the customer. You're putting in this big R&D investment into making this thing. You're gonna make some games, right? Like you have all this big IP. Like you're gonna do something with this, right? And I guess not. They were going more into the live service route and canceled all those projects. Who knows if there's been a bunch of canceled VR projects behind the scene for them? But I honestly don't think they've been doing anything. That they just threw this hardware out there and like third parties, you do it. You use this platform, and then again, is it the chicken and the egg thing again? If enough people are using PSVR2, then maybe like more people, or there more reason to make a game. But then they added an adapter. It's like a $60 adapter to be able to use the PSVR2 headset on PC, and you don't get all the things like the eye tracking and all the good features. Those are still like you need to be on PlayStation VR or on PlayStation 5 using it to get like the features that really make it worthwhile, then worth putting up with the cord. But I don't know. Now you can get the headset for like 400 or even less. Like a used one you could probably get for like $200, and like at that point, if you don't have VR already, or even for like Call of the Mountain and Gran Turismo 7, those are great games, and I'm confident that Resident Evil 4 and 8 are going to be good. So for those 4 games, and then you can probably throw in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think you can probably play that on PC, but you can probably throw that one in there too. For if you can get the headset for like $200 to $300, those 5 alone, you could argue it's probably worth it. And there's a ton of other games to play too. I mean, there are. It's just boring to talk about because they're all on the MetaQuest headset as well. And so, like, again, since PSVR2 came so late, it's like this isn't the reason to buy PSVR2. A lot of people who are into VR have already played those games. But if you haven't, and if you're thinking about getting one for the holiday season, which, like, yeah, definitely you can look used or even new. They're going on sale. They've ran some pretty big sales. Definitely think about getting one. And if you do, I'll put a link in the description and a card at the end of the video. But something to definitely consider is prescription lenses. That's a very underrated accessory, and I have a coupon code from my previous time I was talking about doing VR YouTube. They reached out to me, they hooked me up with a coupon code for 15% off these. These are just as essential as a screen protector on your smartphone or your Nintendo Switch 2. But they even just enhance the VR experience and making just that friction process less, because you probably don't have 20/20 vision. So 15% off. It's a Black Friday promotion, so it's only from November 15th, 2025 to December 5th, 2025. And so, yeah, check that out. I do get a kickback. It's an affiliate link, but the best thing you can do for free if you want to actually support the channel is to like and subscribe. Other than that, though, the coupon code's yours, whether you've been thinking about a PlayStation VR2 or even if you have any other headset, you're just watching this video or you're gifting it for somebody. Definitely check out the prescription lenses because that's just going to make your experience just better in general. But yeah, I don't know. I lose faith in PlayStation, and if it wasn't for this headset and the way they handled it, I probably would have bought a PlayStation 5 Pro. Like paying $550 for this headset, for this accessory, which was almost like a platform on a platform. eh, The fact that they aren't supporting it, I saw the PlayStation 5 Pro, and I'm like, I'm not going to get that because they're probably not going to do anything with it. They're probably not going to enhance their own games for PS5 Pro support. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening with the PS5 Pro. And so, like, I don't, it, and I'm the target demographic for the PS5 Pro. I have an OLED right there, a 77-inch OLED TV with like the big theater speakers. Like, PS5 Pro would be able to take advantage of my setup. And like I could then put my PS5, the one that's sitting off screen opposite of the Series X. I could put that like in one of my other, like in the living room or just in. I have a couple TVs in my house. I can hook up to a different TV, and then I have boom a 4K Blu-ray player, and I can play PS5 there as well. Like I could use, I could get use out of two PS5s. I would, and so I was considering getting a PS5 Pro, but the way they handled the PlayStation VR2, I was just like, I don't trust you guys anymore. And yeah, maybe this thing will be supported on the PlayStation 6, but are they going to release any games for it? I don't know. I don't trust it. Like there was no Astrobot. Like Astrobot was built on PlayStation VR1, and with like the Astrobot video game, they didn't do anything with the VR2. There's not an Astrobot PSVR2 game. I keep waiting for it every time they do a PlayStation showcase. Like I would get it. Like that would get me to plug in this VR headset, and once I get plugged in again, then I'd probably like play some more Gran Turismo 7, try out Flight Simulator, finally catch up my backlog on Resident Evil games. But it's like I have no rush to get back into this headset because my backlog isn't growing. It's not like I'm falling very far behind on my PlayStation VR2 games. Once I play Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 8, then I don't have anything besides just like continuing playing Gran Turismo 7, which is a game that never ends. So I don't know. And then even third party, when you start to get third party, like it just VR's been completely stagnant for a while, and just nothing news coming out. The tech's there, the hardware's there, but it's chicken and the egg problem. The user base, I guess, really isn't there for them to take such a risky investment because VR development's very hard, very difficult, and Sony's one of the companies that could do it. I feel like Nintendo and Xbox and Sony are the three companies that can do it, and I was really hoping Sony's gonna make a push into VR. They already had VR1, and I feel like they knew enough from doing that. I'm like, wow, they're confident enough to do a PlayStation VR2, and they didn't do any, and they're not doing anything with it. So it's like, why did you even bother developing this hardware when you already ran your tests with the PlayStation VR1? You're releasing this VR2, $550 at the time, more expensive than the actual console, and you're not doing anything with it. But again, are they even releasing exclusives for the PS5 in general? It's a really weird generation, and the VR had the PlayStation VRs are like offset from the actual console, so I guess this things might work on PlayStation 6. So I don't know. It'd be nice if PlayStation can release a couple more first party games for this thing and bring into the PlayStation 6, but as it stands, like there's no rush. There's no rush. So again, if PlayStation VR2 is an awesome piece of hardware, I can't emphasize that enough. This is so hard to like even say. I just choked on my words right there because it's an awesome headset and I'm just ripping on it. I'm ripping on VR in my past couple like VR related videos. It's just it's not going anywhere. So like I don't know, if you're on the fence, definitely buy it cheap, consider buying it used, and just like have your expectations that there's not a lot out out there. There's not a lot coming out, but there's enough that you're probably going to get your money out of it. Even at $550, maybe I'm coping. I can argue that it's worth it. Like it's a very exclusive, a very premium experience. There's a lot of other games when you mix in third parties that you can get your value out of it. But I don't know. it's still disappointing in the end, and hopefully they do more with it, but I don't have faith. So like Microsoft coming out with Flight Simulator, and that's coming out on PlayStation VR 2. uh it's like, wow, like, all right, we got something, and it's from Xbox, and that's weird, but at this point, like, we got something. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Any of you guys buy the PlayStation VR 2, or do you regret it? Are you coping like me? Are you holding out hope for anything new? Leave a comment if there's anything that I missed in terms of like any unannounced games or rumors that are being worked on that I don't know about. And then also, like, if you have one already or you think about getting one, definitely look into prescription lenses. Check out my video after this. Use the coupon code to get 15% off. Definitely don't buy it without the coupon code. But if you just want to support the channel, like and subscribe. That's the best way to do it. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.